Welcome to the Daily B Show. We've got Jamie Maunder in the house. Episode 40, swinging along. So it's a bit of an impromptu show today. Me and Jamie caught up. It's the first time we've actually seen each other in person for about a decade.
Yeah, 15 years.
Yeah. And we've been chatting on and off just online for the past maybe a month to a couple of months. When Jamie reached out to me, saw one of my videos, and just basically reached out because it resonated with him, and we've just been chatting since. I do need to apologise for the flow of traffic coming through. Something's wrong with Optus network at the moment, so I'm literally sitting out front of one of the local cafes using their Wi-Fi while we do this. Another example of how you got no excuse to be in action and innovation and just getting yourself out there. There's always a way where there's a will. So, Jamie, can you just introduce yourself? You've been on the 30-day Go Live Challenge, so there's a few people out there that do know who you are now in my network, but for those that don't know you, who you're from, what are you up to? Yeah.
I'm just basically I started doing the Go Live challenges a while ago because I seen a video of Matt on there doing it, and yeah, as you said, it just resonated with what I was feeling. I've been living in WA for about 10 years, and I went there to make a better life for myself. And yeah, I just sort of come to this roadblock. Start feeling all these really intense feelings and stuff that I haven't felt before. And
when you say you went to WA to find a better life,
yeah.
What was it like over here before you left, and what was the concept of a better life to you at that point before you left?
I was to be motivated to work and go out there and make a proper life, and just do things differently instead of doing the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
Addiction has been a massive problem in my life, and I basically moved away to try and get away from that.
How'd that go?
I went alright for a bit, but then probably for the last 5 years it's just been a battle every day.
So can we, just for a bigger picture, before we go into the detail, share some of the key things that you've gone through over the past, since we caught up, basically or even stuff that you went through as a child, through what some of the troubles you had through high school, and then the last sort of decade, like those key challenges that you've gone through. Can you just give a big picture understanding of the challenges you've faced, and then we'll deep dive into some detail for people.
Basically, a lot of my challenges have been faced. My life has revolved around anxiety, basically, since I was a little kid. So this has a flow-on effect to everything. Anxiety controlled my life for a long time, even through school and that. I reckon if I was so anxious, I probably wouldn't have got bullied as much.
What happened when you were a young child? What was the catalyst for that anxiety to start with?
Yeah, I got raped when I was 8 a couple of times. And I guess just having that feeling of not being able, I felt like I wasn't able to tell anybody, sort of just almost gives you a feeling of abandonment.
Heighten that anxiety.
Yeah, and in turn, then in the future, you get real bad anxiety when it comes to abandonment. That's what I'm going through right now. So,
can you guys just let us know that if you can hear us okay as well, if the traffic's not too loud? I've got some headphones we might be able to use if it's too much, but just let us know if you guys can hear us okay. And so after high school period and get moving up into adulthood, like we were partying pretty hard back at high school and after high school as well.
Yeah.
And then getting into that flowing into addiction, and then we sort of parted ways and you went and did your own thing. What were some of the challenges that you faced in the last sort of decade as well that have sort of noisy cars? Yeah.
I think not feeling like I'm just not growing up. You know what I mean? Like I'm stuck at a certain age.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I've had a pretty rough few days as it is, and I'm still. It's hard to put into words.
So, we talk about where you're at today.
Yeah.
All right. So Jamie's basically had an addiction to meth for how long were you addicted to meth?
About 5 years.
About 5 years. He got himself into some trouble, landed himself in prison for 12 months. He's finished his parole about a month or so ago, and it was only a little bit before, or around that time, where he dabbled and started to use again, and through different personal issues and stuff that's gone on and just challenges that come up, he's basically been on the gear for how long now?
On and off. I know I started dabbling for about 3 months, maybe 3 months or something before. I don't know. I won't lie, I had some not long after I got out as well, but it was just more, it's probably been, I think me and my partner started having these, like we were broken up about 3 months ago. Ever since then, it's hard to say. I've been pretty good the last 2.5 months until the last week. So
Yeah.
It just depends on the situation and what I'm going through and how I'm feeling. Because I'm at the point now where I know that if I use these drugs, before I even have it, I'm starting to question why I'm doing it, because I know it's just going to make me feel like shit. It's just that cycle. It's just.
So is it that the pain of what's going on in the relationship and just in life in general with your kids and everything else around is stronger than the pain that you're going to feel after doing them anyway? Would you say that, or?
Well, yeah, the pain I feel for that shock, and I feel like I've failed my family. So, I've failed my family, I've failed myself. But like you say, failure is just a lesson. Mm-hmm. So
it's easy to say though, eh?
It is. It just, patience is just sometimes what it takes. Like, I know I'll beat this. It's just.
So can you paint a picture of what it's like to be in that sort of tug of war with yourself between trying to manage the emotions of life and then having that pull to and that temptation of a drug like that there as well?
Well, that's an interesting question really, because I think that's the thing actually, is when you take the drugs, you actually get stuck on the one thing. You don't. You sort of forget about the life that's around you, and you'll just get stuck on one thing. Like, it's nothing for me. I just get stuck obsessing over certain things. You know what I mean?
Like just in that one thought pattern.
Yeah, and it can be hours and days on that one certain thing, and all that happens is you don't get anywhere.
Yep.
You actually start talking yourself into thinking that these things you're thinking in your head are happening, and it's just and then obviously, because it's bad for your body, and then afterwards your emotions, just for me especially, because I feel my emotions so strongly as it is, it's too hard for me to handle almost. I find myself constantly thinking, how am I going to get out of this, and that good old word suicide comes up all the fucking time, but
So what's with that, man? Talk us through that, because there's a lot of people that do get into this depths and into this level of despair who do actually go through and take their own lives. And for me, as we've spoken about this, actually it was probably our conversation a while back that sparked me actually bringing it up and speaking to people about it. And it is an option. Like the fact of the matter is, it is an option every fucking day of the week. But what is it from? Because you're in a pretty deep space right now, so share with people what it is like, where you are right now, going through those feelings and thoughts, and what's coming up for you in that space, and how do you manage it?
Well, at the moment, because of the situation, there seem to be just a lot of negative self-talk going on.
Yeah.
Instead of telling myself that things will get better and I can get through this because I've been through other tough shit, I'm telling myself that I'm not good enough, and asking myself, how am I going to get through this, instead of just noticing at the time, just by asking that I'm doing something about it. You know, and,
have you got to the point of preparing it or planning it, or is it more so just being an option?
No, I guess I do try and plan for it. I think I don't seem to lose my shit so badly as much anymore. You know, you can't really plan for what the feelings you get when you're going through, like, say, a serious breakup, or when you're really trying to express the way you feel to somebody and they're just not getting it. It's for me, I handle it differently just at certain times, you know what I mean? Like, some days it will just be like, whatever, can't be bothered. And then other days it will really get to my heart, and it will just really feel like my heart's about to explode out of my body, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it really answered the question, but
that's why I had to come up. And what about with respect to like self-harming? Because for me, when I got into my states of despair, I turned inward instead of outward, so I would never lash out at other people, and nor would I physically hurt myself as much as the thought was there. It was more so my inner torture that I would bring upon myself. Yeah, exactly. But you seem to also physically torture yourself. So can you explain what the process is in that, and what that's like?
Well, basically, right, so when it comes to life, my biggest fear is anxiety. It just kills me.
You fear?
I fear anxiety.
Because you've felt how...
I'm just sick of it. I'm over it. I don't know why I have to feel it so bad. It just makes me angry. When I get anxious, I get angry.
Yeah.
And then when I get angry at myself because I can't seem to control this frigging thing. And, you know, just, I feel like I'm stressing out that much that all I can do, like, is if I start hitting myself, then I get tired, don't I? So if I get tired, I fall asleep, and then when I'm falling asleep, I'm not stressing anymore. That's mainly the reasons in the past that I've done it, is because you give yourself a concussion and end up tired and you just sleep.
Yeah, and you're a brawler from back in the day.
Yeah, so it's sort of, the thinking for me is the torture, because I just can never seem to turn my brain off. It's just constant, non-stop. Doesn't matter if I'm using drugs, if I'm not using drugs, if I'm doing the right thing. It's just a constant thing. I'm always thinking about it. It's never a break. I don't get a rest. It's the thing. You know?
So you hear people talking about mastering mindset and mastering their emotions and positive thinking, all this sort of shit. Are these just slap-on bumper sticker terms for you at the moment, or like, do they mean anything to you, or is it?
Well, to me, at the moment, every sentence has a meaning, really, in that sort of headspace at the moment. I think everything has got more meaning, like I said before. A lot of times we're just scratching the surface of certain things, even like just certain sentences. But if you get a shovel and actually dig into it, you find there's always more in there, you know? That's what people do these days. They think they don't have any worries in their life, but they're just not digging into certain things and realising that there's more below the surface. And that's what I seem to have done. But what I've done is I've dug too deep. I feel like I'm in a massive hole, and I nearly get out of it, and then my ladder's just a bit too short, and I have to try and get that extra step out, you know?
What do you need to do to be able to reach the top of that pit to get out?
Just keep using the tools and the materials that are at hand to try and make that ladder just a bit taller to get out, you know? And that's all I can do. Otherwise I'm just going to sit down in this hole for the rest of my life, and it's not a very pleasant place to be.
Do you see people around you going through the same stuff? Or do you find that you feel like you're alone?
Yeah, I do see people going around me through the same stuff, but I also do think that there's a lot of people that have this stigma about men and feelings.
Yeah. What is it?
Look, I go on the record, mate, I've got absolute shocking emotions. You know...
Shocking how?
Well, I just get so intense. Well, if I feel a feeling of sadness or anger, it's not mediocre. It's always really intense. It just comes on out of nowhere, and if I don't catch it,
Takes over.
it takes over, and then I lose control of myself, and I lose who I am.
Have you seen any psychiatrists, psychologists, counsellors, professionals in that sense to be diagnosed with anything?
Yeah, I have. Clinically, they're diagnosed with social anxiety disorder and PTSD, but that's just a name to something, you know what I mean? I'm not just going to be told I've got that and just be happy with that. And you know, there's got to be a reason for it. So I'm sort of on a quest to find that reason why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling for the last few years.
Have you tapped into what happened to you as a young boy? And do you feel that there's a connection to that experience of being raped as a young boy and the anxiety and the anger and the heightened emotions currently now that continue? Because it seems, listening to your story, it's like each event has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And from what I know about, like that's like the cycle going over and over and over and over again, but bigger and bigger and bigger each time.
Yeah.
You guys homeless or something?
Yeah, I think the way my brain's been working lately is more the fact that the more things happen to me, the more fed up I get with having to deal with this shit, you know what I mean? And, so you make your own luck, you know what I mean? So it's just...
Well, that's a good bumper sticker. Do you believe it?
No, I don't.
No. So do you feel like it stems from back then, or do you think that they're all separate experiences that...
Well, I never thought it stemmed from back then until I hit about 29. That's where everything got a bit hectic, you know what I mean? Or even earlier than that. Like mentally, I just used to go along not really thinking about certain things and why things happen. But when I started thinking, why did that happen and why did the things that followed that happen, that's when I really realised that shit, I've been living with anxiety for a long time and didn't even realise it.
Do you love yourself?
I do. I love myself.
All of you?
Yeah, but there's certain things that I wish I didn't do, like lying. I don't need to lie. Lying has destroyed my relationships.
Why do you feel people lie? Why do you feel you lie?
Well, because I'm too scared to tell people something's going to hurt them. If it's going to hurt them, and worrying about the way that's going to feel. It's sort of selfish. It's really selfish, to be quite honest.
Just quick shout out at the Healing Leaves Cafe, tapping into their Wi-Fi while we're down in Melbourne North. Come down and have a coffee and a cake. Say good day, Jude. She'll look after you. Yeah.
Sometimes I think I lie because I care too much, but then maybe it's selfish, you know what I mean?
So you were talking about we were talking about this before, about the feeling and the want to keep people happy, like people pleasing in a sense. I used to be a compulsive liar throughout probably grade 6, year 7, 8, 9-ish sort of time at high school, and for me, like, lying was just like this thing. I recognised that people, if I could just give people what they wanted, it was really, really easy. People are easy to read. I just tell them what they want, they'll fuck off, they'll leave me alone, they'll be happy, they don't need to know the truth, and that was sort of, it was so easy. But then also recognised throughout that process that I wasn't, I was giving away a lot of my own principles and values in doing that and keeping other people happy, and obviously the integrity side of it. But I do see that it's sort of the, tell me if this is how you feel as well, the instant gratification versus long-term gratification. It's like instantly in this moment I get to not deal with this person's emotions or hurt them or feel like I've offended them, but in the long term they're going to anyway. Thanks, Chantal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Is that, would you...
Of course it is. Obviously, you do something that's worked before in the past because you're going to keep doing it, but Look, yeah, it's.
Can you?
It's not like I don't lie about everything all the freaking time. And to be quite honest, only to certain
Are you
people.
lying about this?
No, I'm not. It's only certain. It's only to certain people that I feel like that happens. You know what I mean?
People you feel like you don't want to hurt the most.
Yeah, or maybe people that react in ways that.
Can you? So we're doing a 30-day go live challenge. Can you commit to 30-day no lie challenge?
30-day no lie challenge. That's a
Yeah.
good one. I like that one. Yeah, I can commit to that.
Yeah?
I'll do better than the 30-day go live challenge.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Hold him accountable. I've already bugged his bedroom.
Someone's
We're gonna
bugging
bug the
me
rest
as
of
well. Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think the emotional side of things as well. Like, this is something that's not really spoken about. Is how guys, there's this stigma of like, don't show emotions. It's weak to show emotions. Yeah, compose yourself, hold it in. But really, it's actually fucking really courageous and an amazing show of strength to open up and show your emotions and be seen and be vulnerable and really be authentic. And that's definitely something that a lot of my guests have been spruiking on here. It's something that I've obviously been pushing as well, like do whatever makes your asshole sweat, allow yourself to be vulnerable, be authentic. And I think that's one of the things that I have admired about our conversations is the depth and the level of authenticity that you've been able to go to. And really, I mean, it takes two to tango, so I know that I've been able to create a space for you to feel comfortable in doing that.
Yeah.
But it's been your courage to actually step into that and allow yourself to go to those sort of depths as well. And I just don't feel like there's enough education out there and enough males giving examples of how to harness these emotions and how to express them openly, because it's okay to be flushed with sadness. It's okay to be completely frustrated. It's okay to be red with anger, but it's also necessary to understand different ways and sustainable and supportive ways that we can express those feelings and those emotions, so that they're not detrimental to ourselves and to others, but they're expressed in a healthy way.
Exactly.
And so, okay. So my question to you is, can you share on two sides some of the ways that you feel like you've expressed your emotions in an unsustainable, unhealthy way, and then what you would tell someone else to do in that situation to express them in a healthy way?
Okay, well, here's a perfect example, right? So, here's the healthy way. So, when I was in prison, I've done a lot of self-work and self-courses. I had some terrible anger problems, right? I'd go off like that. But in jail, I just said to myself, look, no matter what happens, no matter what happens, let's try and stay as calm as possible. Now, I got bolted into a couple of times in jail, and I stayed calm. I didn't throw another punch back, and in the end, it actually affected that person that was doing it more than it affected me. But what I'd done was I'd learnt to channel this anger and put it somewhere else until, say, I went out on the footy field, and then I'd take it out like that instead of letting it build up.
How did it affect those guys when you didn't respond in the way that they wanted you to?
Well, they're left feeling like an idiot because they've just punched me for nothing. It's had no effect on me whatsoever mentally, but physically it might have. But to me, physical pain doesn't hurt as much as mental pain. So they can't get to my mental state with a fist.
There's been a lot of women on my show who have been through sexual and physical or domestic violence as well. And everyone says the same thing. Like, the physical abuse heals. It's the mental and emotional abuse that is the toughest to repair, which is
I think, like, another thing for people, anyway, so, sorry, the bad way that I deal with these things is say I'm having issues, I'm struggling to deal with them. For example, right, so me and my partner, we talk all the time, okay, and we've been trying to work out what's going to happen, like if I'm going to go back and deal with her and stuff, which is what I want. And yesterday, it's none of my business if she's with somebody else, but somebody else was at her house for the night, and I just cooked myself over. I just kept thinking about it, just only the negatives to this thing. I wasn't thinking of the fact that, hey, she's still talking to you even though this other person's there. She cares. And I let it all build up in my head, and I just kept thinking negative, 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 negative. And before long, even after I spoke to you, that was it. I was affected by...
Share how you expressed yourself.
Well, I punched the shit out of myself.
Literally.
And then I fell asleep after that, and that's purely that's what I'm saying. Like,
You needed to sleep, so at least you
so,
sleep.
like, basically, if anyone wants to fight me, you're better off picking on me. I don't know. It's just violence. I've tried to take violence out of my life.
So I like that, channeling it into something like footy or something else like that. If someone doesn't play football, or even women or men out there, like, what's a strategy that you might suggest for someone to do to express themselves in a resourceful and a healthy way, and something that you can take on as well?
Well, for me, the way that I changed that basically was when I started talking to this lady in jail, and it was all about self-talk. You know, you can channel things so much easier if you just not tell yourself it's okay, sort of thing. When people get stressed, they'll just sit there and they don't channel it at all. You don't actually. You can put that. You can feel these emotions gradually. You don't need to feel them all at once. And that's the problem, is that you feel these emotions all at once and you don't know how to deal with it, and it just overloads your brain. So, yeah, I think basically the way I've dealt with that is just, if you don't play sport or something like that, you just, I'm gonna say I wouldn't know how you'd channel it any other way, because that's how I do it, you know what I mean? But I think another thing, like I said, is to remember you don't actually have to feel all of that feeling at that time.
So when you say sport, do you think that's just like a physical activity?
Yeah.
Like if it's going for a run or chopping wood or swimming in the beach? Like, do you think that just a physical exertion is...
Anything that gets your mind thinking about anything other than what you're worrying about at the time. Even if it's for 5 minutes. Because in that time, you've released things that you don't even know you've released, you know what I mean? That's why the subconscious mind is amazing, because we've actually got no control over it. But at the same time, we have control over it because the subconscious mind's only there because of things we've learnt in the past.
So, bro, you're going through your own challenge at the moment. You're obviously learning. You've been back in society for 12 months now. Been over 12 months out of prison, but still, it has its challenges. How can we help, or what's something that and not only for you in this position, but I ask you now because for people out there that are experiencing similar or the same, or people that watch this later on going through similar or the same, what do you feel would really help you right now in all aspects, so that other people as well after this experience know who and what to ask for as well? Because I feel like asking for help or not knowing where to go or what can help is sometimes a big issue as well, and so nothing's actually done. So yeah, what do you feel like? Yeah.
What do I think would help me right now? I don't know, I'm going to say maybe, only because this is what I've done today, just think of something that you really don't want to do and do it. Basically.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah. Oh, this was the last thing I want to do today. I feel like shit today.
This?
Yeah, I feel like absolute crap, mate. Like, you know, but
Week-long bender, finally got some sleep. It's I was doing, when I first started the Go Lives as well, I was in the middle of a breakup, and I feel you. I didn't want to get on that. I didn't do it after a 5-day bender, but I still feel you. So what about in respect to finding a job, or giving yourself and your mind something to focus on, to give yourself a bit of purpose and direction, to take your mind off being in the crowds that are the drugs are around, and getting a bit more harness and some routine? Do you feel that would be helpful?
Well, I think definitely, because one thing I've noticed, especially if you're around a lot of people that use drugs, is that there's no stability in their lives. They're always floating around, you know. Now, for some people, they need stability in their lives in order to work. but for other people, you need to work to create that stability. So, it wasn't that long ago I was working, mate, and I felt stable, and it's just, it's like if shit starts going wrong and you don't catch yourself quick enough, especially if you have these issues, then before you know it, you're going to be down rock bottom again.
So what are your skills? What are some things that you can contribute to businesses or people, and what do you like to do? What's your ideal job or situation that you'd love to get into? That maybe someone here has got something that they might be able to offer you.
I know. I love being out on farms. You know, like, it's just so peaceful for me.
You've worked on farms before?
I've done a lot of work on farms, tractor driving and stuff like that. I just love sitting in tractor. And just, floating off and just doing what I'm doing. Like,
cool. Are you willing to work anywhere, or is there a certain place you'd like to be?
No, I do want to. I'm willing to work anywhere, but that's the thing. I'm sort of in a thing of where I don't know if I should be going back to WA right now. So, like, I really, really want to go back to WA and give this a shot, but. I'm going to try and work out if it's going to do more damage than good, you know?
Only time will tell.
At the moment, for me, like, this work would help a lot, yes. But shit, man, I'm floating across Australia at the moment. I don't even coming or going, so...
Yeah, the cool thing is that no matter what decision you make, you can always change it. I always felt like that's an amazing... amazing thing to have in your back pocket is that you can make a decision, and if it doesn't work out, well then you've always got the other ones plus some to go back to. So if anyone is out there that is looking for a strong, fit lad to come on their farm and help them out, or if anyone knows anyone that might be in a position to potentially give Jamie a leg up and a job in some farming aspect, then reach out. We'd love to hear from you guys. Anything else you'd like to deliver to anyone that is watching that's potentially gone through the same stuff?
I just want to let everyone know, sort of thing, like, there's not one single person on this earth that's not real, right? Even the fakest person on earth is real. They know the real them, so before you judge somebody on what you see, you just really need to think that...
Get the shovel out.
Yeah, get the shovel out and... You don't have to scratch that surface, dig deeper, and you'll actually find that just because someone seems like a bit of a weirdo or whatever at first, 9 times out of 10...
Guilty!
9 times out of 10, them people are going to be the deepest thinkers, most interesting people you will meet. So just don't judge people. Everyone can change. A liar can change. A person can go from being straight to gay. If that can happen, anything can happen. So just have faith in humankind. There is good people out there.
You gay?
No. I'm happy.
I've been known to turn men with my devilishly good looks.
Sorry, mate. Not this time.
Shame.
So that's basically just and thanks. Thanks for not judging. Basically.
Thanks for sharing, brother. And I mean, you've been watching the comments come through. There's a lot of love. It doesn't take much. Just as soon as we open up, as soon as we really put ourselves out there, it's very quick that we do see how many people are out there that are willing and waiting for us to open up and let them into our lives, let them into our hearts. And from my experience being calloused and in deep, dark places, it's because I was closed off. I'm sure you'll agree. Because we were closed off, that people weren't coming to help. But as soon as we open up those gates just a little bit to expose ourselves and share and open up and let people in, man, there is an abundance of love to be given, and there's abundance of people willing to help and put themselves out to accommodate, because no one wants to see anyone down in the dumps. And as long as we're really striving to do something better and to help ourselves, well then people will be there every day of the fucking week. Thanks for joining me, bro.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us, guys. It's been impromptu daily B, and one of my favourites so far. So I'll chat to you guys tomorrow on another episode. Fucking love the cars.
Yeah.
And yeah, have an amazing Boxing Day. Enjoy the cricket if you're at the cricket or if you're watching it or whatever you're up to. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Just want to give a shout out to my kids. I love you to death. Thank you.